6. We had a little technical difficulty if you were on with us live, but we are back and ready to go here. So we're going to work on growing your business with these 3 tips. Now, the whole idea behind this Business Builder series is to help you grow your business. We share lots of tips and tricks along the way that is really going to get you thinking outside the box and look towards different pricing, marketing, all sorts of aspects of your business. But in this particular episode, we're going to really focus in on growth, right? We want to grow. Everybody wants to get more orders, bigger orders, and all that. And everybody asks me for tips. I get so many questions for tips on specific things. How do I get more orders? And here's the thing on orders is when you're talking about selling more items and getting more orders, you're looking at the symptom. You're looking at the end product of what you're doing. And that can really be compared to watching the scoreboard, right? You can be watching the scoreboard, just looking for those points. And at some point, we need to quit watching the scoreboard and start worrying about the things that put points on the board, right? And that's going to be the same thing in your business. So we're going to get into these 3 tips tonight. And like with most of my stuff, they're maybe not the direct, quick answer, big, easy fix that you're looking for. But the idea is to get you thinking and get you really looking outside the box at what's going to work for your business, because there's no one answer that's going to fix anybody's business. It's all individual, right? And that's why entrepreneurship and sole proprietorship and everything is so cool, because it's your business. So let's look at these 3 things. Number 1, here's the one that you may not want to hear, but improve your craft, right? Like, when we're starting out, we can really be wanting to push, I want more orders, I want to sell more. Let's be putting in the work to get better at what we're doing, and that's going to help in its own. It's going to prepare you to sell your products better, but just the sheer fact that you're putting in that work, people are going to see that. People are going to see the effort and the dedication that's going into that, because you're going to be excited about it, right? That excitement's going to come through. It's going to come through when you're talking to people about your items, whether that's in person at a little farmer's market, whether that's just to your friends and family, or whether that's on social media. We're going to get into that in just a minute, but that excitement about you putting the work into things is going to come through. And that in itself is going to, for one, help get you a better product to sell, and 2, help people want to buy from you because they can see you're dedicated and you're passionate about it. So take the time, work on your craft, get better. When we can always get better, right? There's at no point, I don't think we ever hit a point in leatherwork that you think, I got it handled. This is as good as I need to get, because it just doesn't happen like that. There's always somebody doing things better. There's things to improve on. And if you can't find something to improve on, then start asking people to critique your work and get some things to improve on, right? Okay. Number 2, we're going to talk about adding skills. So we talk about working on the skills of building the products, but now we're going to talk about adding skills and adding some different skills outside your leather work. But before I get to that, I'm going to really dive in and explain that. But I want to remind you guys that we're going to do a short Q&A tonight. But we're going to be giving away one of our t-shirts. This is the 23 Plus swag t-shirt here. And that is produced by S&D Design Co., my wife's company. There's a link to that in the description. Be sure to check her out and see all the other designs she has, so she can do custom stuff for your business like this. But she also has her own designs that she's coming up with and producing and launching. She just launched out February's, which if you haven't seen that yet, that's going to give you, one of the designs in February is going to give you a really good idea on what the next specialty pattern is that I'm producing. So check that out in the link below. And if you're wondering what a specialty pattern is, you can check out the link for 23 Plus. That's my business, and that's where I have my different tooling patterns, tooling books, courses, and things like that. So, adding skills. We want to talk about adding skills. Work to add business skills, right? There's different business skills you can add, and there's different platform skills you can add, right? The business skills, start looking at marketing, start looking at, sales, start looking at some of those aspects of it, bookwork, things like that, that can help you run your actual business. But when we say platform skills, where are you selling at? Now there's huge value in in-person sales. Right now, there's not as much stuff going on with COVID and all that, but there's still some opportunities for that, especially depending on where you are in the country. There could be a lot more opportunities, but there's value in that, and there's still things to know about that platform as well, selling in person. How do you talk to people? How do you communicate? What does your booth setup look like? There's things you can learn about a vendor booth, flow of traffic, what's going to draw them in. Lots of skills to be learned there. Then on the social media side, social media is a huge place. It's primarily what I've used to build my business on is social media. And you pick what your platform is, whether that's going to be live in-person sales or whether that's going to be some sort of social media. And with social media, you have like your Facebook, Instagram, you want to do TikTok, you want to do talking about your sales platforms. There's Etsy and Pinterest and all kinds of stuff. It doesn't matter, you choose, right? It's because it's not what works for me, it's what's going to work for you. That's what matters. So which platform do you want to invest in? And in that, know your platform. What skills can you learn within that platform? Because there's so many to learn, right? There's things that I still really need to dive into and learn that I haven't learned yet too. But how do you use your stories? How do you use reels? How do you get into groups and target groups and talk to them? And that there's so much stuff that you can do that's free. It doesn't cost money. I know with your early building your business, there's not a pile of money and capital to throw at advertising, right? But there's lots of things you can do within a platform and learn about it. Learn how to post. Learn how to edit your pictures or videos better. You can jump on YouTube here and search for all those different skills or all those different platforms, and you can find so much stuff. But you can't just do the first thing. You can't just get better at your craft and think, hey, I make cool stuff, so buy it. Like, I'm really good at what I do. Buy my stuff. It's better than everybody else's. Buy it. That's not going to work. It's really not. You have to learn how to present your product and get it in front of people. And that's going to go right along with getting better at your craft. You get better at the craft, then you figure out how you're going to get that out there, how you're going to do your marketing, but not just, okay, I'm going to post a picture on Facebook, and while I posted a picture, why didn't I sell anything? Yeah, got to do a little bit more than that. There's some more skills to add to that, and taking time to interact with the people that are commenting on that stuff. So each platform is going to have its own things, but there's lots of skills you can learn within that. And until you take the time to study it and dive in and try some of the stuff, you're not going to get any better at it. So be willing to put the time in. The people that are willing to put the time in are getting success and they're getting orders. Last thing, number 3, and this one is super important, super important. Right before I get to that, I want to just touch on the last 2 links that I have in the description there. Number 1 is Weaver Leather Supply. if you're not built up to the point where you can have wholesale accounts and buy things at a big discount, Weaver Leather Supply has extended a discount for you for being somebody who follows me. You can use promo code JOE10, JOE10, and that will save you 10% on anything you get there. And that's leather, that's finished products, that's tools, it's machines, anything that they got there. So that'll save you 10%. So check that link below. Again, if you're big enough and you have your own wholesale or business account with them, then you're already getting a discount and you can't use that with it. But if you're not there yet and you don't have that discount, check out that one below and save you a little bit of money there. When you're starting your business, every little bit you can save is going to help that bottom line, right? Lastly, the Leather Life Classroom. If you are needing project ideas and want step-by-step guides to walk through projects, that's what we do in there. It's an online subscription-based class, and we do a new project every month. You get your patterns that you download, you go through, I show you how to build it, and then please sell that stuff, make money. That's the whole idea behind it there. But if you're interested in that stuff, check that out down below. But last point here, and then we'll do a short Q&A tonight. But number 3, be consistent and patient. That one's hard. That one is a tough one, because you think, man, I'm improving my craft. I've worked on that. I've got it down. I'm doing good. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but I'm doing really good. And I've been working on my skills. I figured out how to make a post. I figured out how to tag somebody in it, and I figured out how to put that into my story. And I did that last week. Why do I not have a pile of orders this week? I posted everything I built last week, and it's not sold out yet. You got to be consistent, and you have to be patient. It's not a one-time thing. It's over and over and over again. If we talked clear back in episode 1, if you're looking for just the quick, short, flash in the pan, get rich quick type of thing, this is not the channel for you, because that's not the path I've taken or the strategy I use. It takes time. I've tried some of the quick stuff, but it doesn't work. You've got to take the time and be patient. Does anybody garden out there, or any farmers out there? You guys plant anything? The thing when you plant is, my wife's raising her hand. She's back here working on, she's working on her business back here. She's printing some more shirts. But she plants. My wife learned to garden this year. This is our first year gardening. Complete side note. But so we built some garden boxes and planted stuff, and she started it from the seeds. It was really cool. She had some stuff she bought the starts, but other stuff she planted, right? And bought the little seed packet and put the seeds in there. She poured the water on there, and she put the cover on there, like one of the clear cover things, like it was like a little mini greenhouse. And then the next day she's like, because it hadn't sprouted yet. And I'm like, honey, I think you might need to give that a few days. I don't think that's a 24-hour beanstalk. It's gonna take a minute. And our businesses are the same way. We got the seed packet, we went and got our craft, we figured out how to build the thing, the item, and then we made our post. So that's throwing that in the ground there, right? We put the seed in the ground, we took a picture of it and posted it, and boy, I checked the next day and I didn't sell everything. Well, it takes time, right? And think about how you shop too. Now there's different people on different ends of the spectrum, and we all have our own tendencies, right? But there's people who have done big studies, and I'm not talking about small little podunk shops like me. I'm talking about multi-billion-dollar industry of shopping that they've done research on people like you and me. How we shop, how we buy things, how do we spend money? Because that's what you're looking for, is how somebody is spending money, right? And there's been studies done that show that people have to see something repeatedly before they will actually purchase it. Think about how many times you'll see ads for something, or you'll see something in the store before you actually go ahead and click buy or purchase it in hand, right? And that's because we have to take time. We have to see a product. Is this a reliable thing? I think I like it, but I'm not sure. Let me see some other ones. And if you think about, let's see some other stuff, but then that one post never pops back up, they never see your product again, they're going to forget about it and go on to something else. So, like, you got to be consistent and be patient. It takes time. It takes time. But you can do all the work prior and then be consistent about getting that out. Be consistent about watering that plant every day. It doesn't take much work. Once you've gone through and you've got the seed, you've decided what you wanted to plant, and you got the seed, you got your pot, you filled it up with soil, you made sure it wasn't too packed, leaving the dirt out, you put your seed in there, you poke it down, cover it just enough, not too much, not too light, just right. Put some water on there, get your thing figured out where you got the sun just right, you got it placed, get your cover on there. Like, you've done all the work, and then every couple days, if it gets dry, you got to just keep it wet. And it doesn't take anything to grab the thing and just pour a little water on there. But if you don't do that consistently, it's going to dry up and die. But if you take that time to just consistently water that, make sure it's in the sun, and just consistently water it. You can keep going on planting more stuff and doing more work out there. But as long as you consistently water that, pretty soon you're going to get a sprout. You're going to get, ooh, hey, I think it's going to make it. And you start getting a little hope, right? That little sprout gives you some hope. And that sprout might be some people clicking like on your post, which, if you're getting any value out of this or enjoying it, please click like on here. That always helps me to know things too. Gives me that little hope that we should keep doing this series. But maybe that's that little hope that you get, is the like that somebody gets. That's that little sprout. Or they comment and say, hey, I like this, nice. Or they ask a question even, how much do you charge for this? Or you get some of that interaction, so you're getting that hope in there, you got that sprout. And then if you just keep watering, and then all of a sudden it grows. And I think our businesses are kind of like zucchinis. Has anybody grown zucchinis? My wife is raising her hand once again, because zucchinis is one of the things she grew. And if you've ever grown zucchinis, you might know why we're laughing a little bit, because I thought, we need to better have a few zucchini plants just to make sure you got enough zucchinis. Well, zucchini plants, they take just as long to water and get going as the rest. But then once they're growing, they take off. And they produce so much fruit, it's not even funny. Like, there's zucchinis, and those zucchinis got like huge. And that's the way your business is. It's going to take time getting going, but if you're consistent and dedicated about putting that work in, then it's going to grow. And once it struggles along, and once you finally get somewhere, if you've put in the prior work, you've made sure you have the fertile soil in there, you've planted the right seeds, you keep watering it, boom, it's going to grow. So you have to be patient and be consistent, and have faith in the fact that the work you're doing today is going to pay off tomorrow. But this obviously is not an episode about how to get that quick order today, but it's about helping you grow your business to something that's going to build and sustain, because that's what we're after here. If you want to just have custom leather work in the bio on your on your page or on your deal, you can do that, and that doesn't cost you anything. Real easy just to throw a custom leather worker and whatever and have that appearance. And that appearance is great. But if you really want to grow your business and get the fruit from that and get the results, you have to put in the work. You got to work on building your craft. You got to add more skills. And then you have to be consistent and patient with it. So I hope you guys can take some of this, all of this, apply it to your business, and it can help you move along. And even, I don't care if all you do, actually. It's not going to affect my business one way or the other. It's all about you and your business. But I do hope that taking the time tonight has helped at least one of you, and that makes it worth it. But I'm going to scroll through here. We're going to highlight, hit a couple questions, and then we're going to get to the shirt here. And I'm actually do a little kind of a test. Who can tell me what the next specialty pattern is that I'm going to be releasing? Now, a hint, to find that out, you're going to have to check out the S&D Design Co. page. So there's a link for that in the description. So check that out, S&D Design Co. Or you can find it on Facebook, Instagram, or the website. But check that out and see. I want to see who can tell me what the next specialty pattern is. I don't know. I'll have to see. I may have to give away a free specialty pattern too if somebody can figure out what it is. Okay. Oh, Misty, she received her shirt and loves it. Awesome. Okay, check the questions here. Jerry built a belt a couple times to make sure it's the way somebody liked. That's perfect. Oh, Misty, great question here. When you post things on Facebook, should you also post the price? That is going to be a personal thing up to you. Myself, I do not post a price. I have done that before, and nothing wrong with it if you want to do that. There's two reasons that I don't post a price. Number one is there are other makers out there without as much integrity as all of you great people following me have, and they can do some things that maybe aren't so awesome, like, oh geez, they're tooling, or they're selling for this much, well, I'll do it for you for this. And that's, for one, if you've ever done that, don't do that. No, not cool. But the other reason I don't post price on there is because you find people just scroll through and see something on there, and they might not know any better. And I'm going to give them the benefit of that doubt. Like, they're not educated in what you're doing. Maybe they don't understand something is handmade or what goes into it. And you get people that want to spout off about price and, say, oh my God, I can't believe they're charging that. Well, one person that might be comparing your handmade product to something that's factory made in the store, that's maybe some cheap foreign knockoff type of product, that's the information they're going on. They're comparing apples here to semi trucks over there, and their comment, their uneducated or misinformed comment of, oh my God, I can't believe they'd charge this much. The next person that is actually shopping just happens to stumble across that, and they see that comment of way too expensive, then they may just pass it right on by because they don't know what that person doesn't know, if that makes sense. So that's why I personally don't post price. I figure if somebody's interested, they'll ask me. And then that helps with your algorithms and stuff too, because people are actually interacting, they're asking you questions, and you send them a message, and it tells Facebook that, oh, hey, there's good content here, people are interested in, they're talking about, they're interacting over it, so they're going to show it to more people. So hope that helps. Okay. Catch back up. Where was that here? Oh, Bobby, I love it. Don't get in a hurry. Every overnight success has been in business for 20 years. The biggest skill is being honest and truthful. Work on word of mouth. Yep, absolutely. I love it. Jeff says his wife kills plastic plants. That's funny. All right. Just catching out here. Kenny, how would you go about educating about what we do? I'll make something and put it on my Facebook page for sale. I'll have people interested until I tell them the price. That's a great thing. Educate people about what you do, about how your product's made. And that's, you know, don't think about more things that you can post. Instead of just your final product, you can post some things about what goes into making that product. What is the work that goes behind that, to educate your customers. But yeah, showing them what it takes to do that is a great way to help educate them. One question, should I build one or two? Johnny, should you post, or should you build 1 or 2 saddles a year and post for sale, or just wait for order for one? If you're not building them all the time, you're not going to get an order for them. I think if you're building stuff, or at least have one going, I mean, I would, if I was in your shoes, I would have one saddle that I was working on to build, like say it was just a, you know, going to be an inventory item, but I would be posting pictures about that saddle all the time, like in the process, and that's going to let people know that you're building those. Be a better chance of getting orders on it. Dominic, how can you get a hold of me to order some work? Right now, if you can message me on Instagram, Facebook. You can email me, mealingjoe@yahoo.com. That's probably the best way, but I will tell you right now, I do have my orders shut down. So, okay. Ooh, Chris has got it. The heart. Ryder's got it. The heart floral. Terry, love the heart tooling pattern. Yes, you guys got it. That is what is coming. Jeff, tooling pattern tees. Yep, she's got the tooling pattern tees going. Should have got to build stock belts just to get a few to show off on the web. Yeah, again, anything that you're wanting to try to sell, if you can have something built up to be able to show people, that's going to help, I think. That way you're not trying to sell an idea. Ideas are super hard to sell. It's way better if you have something physical to show them. And you can do that multiple ways, Chris. You could either build some full-on belts just to have to sell. Like you say, sizing is tough on that because you build an inventory belt, you have to have that person with that size. So unless you're doing a large quantity, or you're going to be at a show where you have lots of people rolling through, can be tough. But if you are going to do that, I would recommend like 34, 36 would be pretty dang good size to go to. They're pretty common. You'd have a better chance selling those sizes, but you could also think about doing samples, just short sample pieces, 8 to 12 inch samples, finish it out as, line it, stitch it, or however you're doing your belts, but finish that out. So then you have some samples to show, and then you constantly have samples to show. If you're looking at doing like a trade show or something like that, that works really well. Mike says, billboards of hope, nice designs, but you already know that. Mike, so you should work through the pricing through direct messages or email. Yes, that's how I do it. I'm not saying that's the only way, Mike, for sure. Some people just talk about their price right in the comments, and I've answered the pricing question in comments before too. Again, these are all just things to consider, but I personally like doing it through messages. The other reason why I like doing everything through a message is, and even if I do it through a phone call, I'll message or email them everything back just to confirm, because then everything's written out and there's been written communication between us that can be referenced later if we need to. So that is a big plus to doing through the messages. Okay. Terry, having trouble moving from family and friends price from the early days to prices that reflect the inputs you previously described. Any ideas? Yeah, charge more. That's the simple one. But I guess I would pose the question back to you, Terry, is when you say you're having trouble moving those prices, there's two ways to be having trouble with that. Are you personally just like, oh God, I feel bad charging more now? Or are customers saying something like, are you getting customer feedback saying, well, Jimbo got it for $20. Like, why is it costing me this much? So I'd be curious to hear if you're getting, what kind of pushback you're getting. I'll answer both ways just because I'm not sure which one it is. Oh yes, the Jimbo example. Okay. With the Jimbo example, so I'm just going to throw numbers out here. And I'm not even sure what is you've been selling, but we're going to say wallets. I'm going to say you've been building a wallet and you've built 10 of these wallets for family and friends, and you've built them all for $40 because just to do it super cheap and do it for them, and you're learning, and now you're charging $75. And Jimbo says, well, hey, I don't want to pay that. Like, Billy, he got it for $40. Why are you going to charge me $75? Hey man, sorry you missed out on that introductory pricing, but I've been putting some work into it and really trying to grow my business, and I've had to increase prices for tools and materials and time, and it's probably not what it needs to be yet, but it's where we've had to go. So I anticipate the prices are going to probably go up here in the near future, but I can definitely get you in at $75 if you want to get in at that before they go up higher. I'd really love for you to get that discount. And I'm sorry, honestly, I can't afford to do it for $40 anymore. I was really having to kind of bite the bullet and pay for my education when I was doing those. So, but now I have to look to grow my business and have to keep that up. So can I get you in at the 75, or do you want to kind of roll the dice and see how long it takes for those to go up. So that's kind of something how I would do it. But again, the communication, being honest, and don't be offended. Like, there is no room in this business to be offended when somebody says your stuff is too expensive. Because you know what? I've thought things were too expensive before too. You've thought things were too expensive before. The thing is it's not the price that gets you. Think about it. If something's too expensive, you're not saying that is too much money. You know, if you're saying, oh, $100, that's too expensive. $100 is too expensive. Well, what are we talking about? Are you talking about selling you this nice all for $100? Or my truck outside? If I said I'd sell you my truck for $100, you'd be like, yeah, sign me up. Heck, I'll give you $200. Like, let's do this. But if I tried to sell you this for $100, you would absolutely lose your mind and tell me I was out of mind, right? But it's not the price, it's the value. You don't see $100 worth of value in this. You see plenty more value in the truck, right? Like, you see way more value than $100 in the truck. But it's not the price that people have a problem with. It's the perceived value in the product. So it's our job, we were talking about earlier about educating customers, right? It's our job to educate people on why that product is worth that. You know, advertisers do it all the time. I mean, look at different commercials, different things, and trying to think of any examples off the top of my head, and I'm just foggy on it right now, but I'm sure you can think of examples of items that you've seen that they may seem like a lot of money at first until you realize the benefits of the product or what it has to offer. That value in that product really makes the dollar value irrelevant. Now, whether that dollar value fits into somebody's budget, that's up to them. I mean, that's between that person. I mean, that's their budget, their wallet. You got to stay out of their wallet, let them decide what's in their budget or not. There's been things that I've thought, man, what a great value. I can't afford that right now. I can't afford to buy that right now. That's too much money for me to spend right now. But it's a great value. Like, I don't think it's too expensive. So there's a difference between it's too expensive or it's not in my budget right now. So depending on what people are saying, if they're saying it's too expensive, then, and if you're in person at a vendor show, and we'll have to do a whole sales one later, whole sales episode. I put in a lot of research on sales, just trying to talk to people, communicate, and how to sell in person, because of going to Vegas to the NFR and seeing lots of people, and I want to be able to sell to people in person. But it's going to be your job to decide if when they say that's too expensive, be able to ask a question like, you do it without insulting somebody, but is this not in your budget, or is it not a good value? And if they don't see the value in it for that price, it's your job to educate them on why the value's there. And if you don't believe the value's there, if you can't educate them, if you can't tell somebody why a product costs that much and why the value's in it, then you shouldn't be charging that much. Because if you don't believe it's worth that price, who else is going to believe it? Like, you have to see the value in it, and you know the value in it. Be able to explain that value. And once you can do that, then that also gives you the confidence on those prices as well. And it takes time. It's a bounce. But if it's a matter of getting that value in there, first thing is you have to know the value in it. So figure it out. Ask yourself that question. What is this stuff truly worth? What is the time put into it, the materials, the care, the steps that it takes, you know, all of that. What is the value? What can this product do for them? What are the features of it? How long will it last? What is it made out of? How does it compare to other maybe less expensive options for that same product? So all just things to consider. But I appreciate the questions, and man, that one sent me on the biggest, probably the biggest rant of the night. Where are we at here? Terry, there we go. Terry, congratulations. You got me on the rant of the night. I think that may be what the t-shirt turns into, is like the rant of the night question. But anyhow, we're going to get you one of these S&D Design Co. shirts headed your way for 23 plus. Shoot me a message. You can do that. You can do that with email or Facebook message or Instagram. The business page at 23 plus, or on Facebook or Instagram, 23plus.leatherwork. Email mealingjoe@yahoo.com. But anyhow, get me your information, Terry. I need your mailing address and the size of t-shirt that you wear, and we will get that headed your direction. But I appreciate you guys all jumping on, joining me. Be sure to check out those links below and hit like if you find any value in this. Got anything out of this, please let me know by hitting that like button. That really helps two things. One, it just encourages me that I'm bringing value to you and knows that I can continue to do this series, and it's something that we can keep putting effort towards. Let me know if you have questions or ideas for future episodes in the comments. And also, that like helps the platform too. It helps work with the algorithm. It shows that, hey, there's valuable stuff here. It shows it to more people. So the goal with this whole series is to help you guys build your business from the ground up, really help you build and grow as you take either your hobby to a part-time, your part-time to a full-time. But I want you to shorten the learning curve for you and help let you learn from the mistakes I've made along the way. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys being on here, taking the time to watch me, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.